Well, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. We have something I'm very excited about. Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. The first Citizen Sleeper game came out when I was fairly new to streaming, if I remember the timeline correctly. It was one of the first games that I streamed that I had a whole lot of fun with. The first time I kind of did a very voice acting heavy visual novel style game. There's been some changes where this one works. In the first game, we were kind of all on one station, and that was where the entirety of the game was kind of like finding our place within it. This one, we have a new goal. We are actually starting as a rogue sleeper already, like intentionally rogue. I believe we're being hunted by some folks, but we already have a way off the station. This game, to my knowledge, is going to be more space travel focused. We will not be lurking among the slums of a single decrepit space station. We will be piloting around the sector, developing our ship, enhancing it, taking on crewmates, and seeing where it all goes. So I'm very excited for this. I've been waiting for this for a long time, ever since they started announcing it in the what were they, like the Orion files, I think is what they were releasing as lead up content. Let's start a new game. Difficulty can be changed at any time from the pause menu. For now, we're just going to go with risky. I might do another run and just see if I can do a dangerous run, but I want to do my first one just on risky and see how that goes. Skills. What class do we have here? We have operator, extractor, or machinist. Focus config. +1 stress, +2 and focus lowest dice. Machinist sleepers are built to repair and modify automated systems used in corporate resource extraction. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Their focus skill allows them to focus on a single task and boost their dice to excel in it. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones or remote machines over local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Operators have expertise in working with interfaces and computer systems, but are more physically fragile than other sleepers. Their reboot skill allows them to hack their own systems to reroll dice, a risky but potentially powerful move. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Extractor. Sleepers are built to work at the coalface of corporate resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Extractors have a high level of physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Their rally skill allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew dice. Sleepers assigned to extract work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. That is interesting. I think I want to go with operator. I don't remember what I played in the first game. I don't think these were the same classes as the first game, but I need to check that. But for now, I'd like to take an operator, I think. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. First your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then its contacts, the breeze of air filtration, soft contact of your birth in zero-G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body. bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles: fear. That familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives: the fear. It is a scrambled, panic fear. The drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head, pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, body built, implanted. One person, sleeping, till their debt is worked away. Their double being made to work, be consumed, and eventually be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. But you escaped. You remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators. Essen-Arp, in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Lane. I remember you from the trailer. Pale eyes and a pale face. Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, when you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt, a sharp smirk, but this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away, to the corners of your vision, to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters. The object you know, and have known for a long time. Stabilizer. The drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid roiling in the vials fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial. But it would be wasted on you now. Look at what you have done to this body of yours. He looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. A voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It is a voice you know. You search your mind to try to understand why you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up, Lane barks a command. You hear the sounds of impact, of pain, from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now you aren't free. You are just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard, and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move. But you have ruined all of that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it. But your emulation... You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you. pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey, he waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. They won't be out long. He unloops a cable from around your wrists. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink, slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on! He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows, looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You're wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you are out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember this station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eyes. What's going on, sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned frown cross his face. Don't mess with me, sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city, growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Darkside. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me? Who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes. Panic, perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot. He is speaking quietly to himself. Blaine interrupted the process, and he lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going. Need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on. The rig can't be far. As you're led through the passage and serviceways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle, the rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes offering you a glittering vial. Stabilizer. The promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There your memory fails you. In the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear, remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay, with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels. The docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the dock, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it. One covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsubo. Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this. It's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye and you see he is playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphim, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We need to reboot you to break your dependence on stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod, meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. What's the rig? Seraphim looks annoyed. A ship. Ah, ship. Or at least it soon will be. Lane assigned it to us when we were on jobs for him. Get that door open. Pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphim kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads! He bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. I don't know why I've decided that Seraphim is Aussie, but yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Tutorial. During scenes, you may encounter skill checks, where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like the dice actions you will encounter later, skill checks can have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will succeed on a check. The odds of success are displayed when you select a check. You can see more info in the guide section of the pause menu. Good to know. Active drives at the moment. We're gonna go just hack the day. Fire, why? Why do you do this, fire? We're in space. There should not be sheep in space. How you doing tonight? We're hacking a door. Positive outcome. Because I can? Hey, fair enough. Yeah, welcome in. Playing Citizen Sleep at 2. There should be sheep in space. Alright, pitch it to me. Pitch it to the Galactic Council on why there should be sheep in space. How are we feeding them? How are we raising them? How does zero gravity affect sheep? I need answers on this, fire. Give me answers. You wait a breath, then glide across to the door they were guarding. You look, already panicked at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. You shift to the control panel, your fingers dancing across the keys. Without thinking, you access the maintenance layer and trigger a fire safety venting procedure. The panel drones out a klaxon and the door pops open with a hiss. Go! Go! Seraphim flies past you, the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks, and quickly glide after Seraphim. Seraphim is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door is scissor open, and you both rush inside. Quickly! Seraphim grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit. Ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on, come on! The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphim slams a button on the console. Feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Yeah, we have takeoff. Waiting for my food to cook. Hey, look, sheep make wool. Wool is good. Wool is warm. For all I care, we can feed them the food from the disobedient shits. Misbehaving your food will go to the sheep. Alright. The council accepts this proposition. We will now have sheep in space. The sheep may scream all they want. And, you know when they say that in space nobody can hear you scream? Yeah, we'll only hear sheep. This has also been okayed by the Space Council. Lamau. Yeah, I got a little bit of fun with it. What's on the menu for the night? As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port's docking protocols. You feel a sense of relief. Seraphim burned hard out of Darkside, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphim breaks the silence. We're good, sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is, you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. We certainly did. He turns, you see a pained look on his face, as if remembering something difficult. You said this exact thing to him before, in the same situation? Are you okay, Seraphim? He looks at you, chewing one side of his lip, searching your face. Not really, he puffs. Seraphim reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize, just another thing you've forgotten. Seraphim kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door, and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not going to let us slip away quietly, he sighs. We need to talk. Seraphim furrows his brow. Not now, sleeper. We need to forget. He flinches, the words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than. He pauses again, unsure. Us, he sighs. We need to survive this thing first. Then maybe we talk. That isn't fair. Seraphim's eyes flash. What isn't fair, sleeper? Is that I just gave up everything for someone who can barely remember my name. He tenses at his own unexpected anger. We are not doing this. He slams the metal of the cockpit wall. Not now. Oh, jeez. Was he my boyfriend? I've forgotten my boyfriend. Salmon with rice and veg. Well, I plan something absolutely diabolical for this D&D game I'm making. Hell yeah. Salmon and veg sounds tasty. And diabolical D&D plans are also fun. He closes his eyes and looks down. Just let me think. He fixes you with a stare. I need to think. You've bought us some time. He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. And there are plenty of opportunities here for us. We can keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides toward the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along, hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. Slaps a hand against the ship's insides. So we need to refuel, and that won't be cheap. You and I know one thing, sleeper. It's out of work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted. See if I can turn up any old connections. People that might throw us an easy contract. You... He glances back over his shoulder. You keep out of trouble. Low profile. Got it. Seraphim stops at the airlock. Stopping the reboot halfway through. He pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. Don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into his sleeve. I don't want you passing out and... He stops. It'll take both of us. Seraphim sighs. I hate it when you're right. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will ya? You take it and slip it on. Thank you. Seraphim nods. He stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open and Seraphim glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us, we look for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly you recognize Seraphim's instinct to look after you. A flash of relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphim throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles. When you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo chits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies. He grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Seraphim kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, alright? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. With that, he is gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking concourse. Wait for a moment in silence. I'm gonna try and think about Seraphim. Like, what did this guy mean to me? It's hard to know what's going on inside Seraphim's head. Here he is on some hapless escape plan with a friend who can't remember a thing about him. You try to imagine how close you both must have been for him to agree to this thing, and it's painful to think about. That's all gone now. Anyway. All you can do is move on. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into port. Ooh. Tutorial mode. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. The game runs in cycles, during which you can perform actions with your dice, use cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items. Progress clocks towards new scenes and events. You can review tutorials at any time in the guides section of the pause menu. Alright, so this is ticking down. Right. Welcome to the character screen. Here you can upgrade and configure your sleeper. On the left, you can upgrade your skills to improve the skill modifier applied to your dice when you undertake an action. To the right, you can upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. Upgrading your push, only one upgrade at each level can be active at once. You can configure which upgrade is active only while at a hub. No dice damage on push reroll, or reroll +1 dice. I could do a damn good gambling build. Because it's always... Okay, I re-rolled the lowest dice. Interface, endure, intuit, engage, engineer. Alright. So, actually, I'm going to pull this up one more time. So with the skills I have, I'm good at interfacing. Intuit is my understanding of people, and I think engage is my social skills. So I'm good at talking to people, understanding people, and I'm very good with computers. I cannot endure at all, so I do not want to be doing labor with this character. Alright, let's see. Where am I most likely to make use of my interface ability? Probably the docks? In Citizen Sleeper 2, you perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice you assign, the more likely you will succeed in an action. Your dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right and will reduce or increase the value of the dice assigned to the action. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, negative, and neutral. Each action is also rated safe, risky, or dangerous, based on the outcome it has. The more dangerous an action is, the more significant both its reward and consequences are. Okay. So, what is my intuit? I have 6s, so the 6 is going to be pretty much just I succeed in whatever I'm trying to do. I take a 6 and just explore the docks and see what happens. Is progress a clock? Clocks track your progress towards both positive and negative events, and can be filled by performing actions by the passing of cycles. And I can just do that again and just finish exploring the dock. Use a 4, what happens? I'll just finish exploring the dock. This should fully round out this cycle. You get a good sense of this humming waste station. Time to use that knowledge to your advantage. As you're gliding across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of raised voices cuts through the conversation drifting out of the dockside shops. Glancing down an alley, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group, surrounded, pushing the others back as they grab at the bag slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way this looks, but then again, Seraphim told you to keep your head down. I mean, I'll see if I can cause a distraction. Check past. You look around for something that could break up the fight and see the thick cooling pipes running down the alley wall. You quickly try to understand the system and choose a valve to start spinning. As you do, the system begins to vent in sequence down the alley, violent jets randomly bursting into the air. There's a scramble in the alley and you spot the figure who is being attacked drop down to the alley floor. Then your vision instantly fills with pale liquid as a jet of coolant jumps out nearby, missing you but sending you spinning in 0G. After a few moments, you manage to steady yourself. As you do, you see a clear alley, the assailants having fled, with one figure gliding towards you. Ooh. Femi? Stubborn salvager captain. Or Femi. Suppose you think that was clever. The man gives you a severe look. You like to break up fights that didn't start? He laughs. Belt's gonna eat you up. He shifts a large bag on his shoulder, weightless but unwieldy in zero gravity. I was helping. The man laughs. Well, he shakes his head. Thanks, I guess. He kicks off and drifts past you. You watch the man go, and then, after a moment, he stops and turns back. He rubs his forehead, looking down as he does. What is your deal, anyway? He sighs. Maybe you're new here, but export is no place for do-gooders. I know what it's like. You get beat up? The man shakes his head. Export's got real rough. Look, let's not hang around, alright? The man pats his chest. I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags and pushes it towards you. Make yourself useful. Let's head. Get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him through the docks, gliding past the concourse towards the connecting bridges. He cuts down a side passage, looking back to check you are following. Then he stops at a docking bridge connecting to a dull green ship with yellow markings. You look out the viewing window at its odd catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from two separate hulls welded together. Symbol crash, he says, and you assume that's the ship's name. Nia, headstrong and spirited salvager. Femi, you bringing in the strays? A young woman, brightly dressed and stretching as she glides, drifts into the passage. She glances at you. No offense. Nia, Femi shakes his head. This one. He squeezes your shoulder. Help me fend off some Hexport scum while you were busy sunning yourself. Nia raises an eyebrow. I'm sure you can handle them, big brother. Her glib response hides the flash of concern that passes across her face. You can't tell if Femi noticed. Nia turns to you. Thanks, she smiles sweetly. And I am sorry for my brother. She shoots him a glance. Just in general. Nia, Femi murmurs. Enough now. He reaches over and takes the bag you were carrying. Nia rolls her eyes at you, but stays silent. Factory Row wouldn't take these. Femi hefts the bags. I'm gonna load them back up. Maybe we'll find a use for them. He turns back to you. Thanks for the assist, Sleeper. He nods firmly. Not what I expected. He slaps the button for the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the symbol crash. Nia looks at you with raised eyebrows. I hope my brother was joking. Or do you really help him? I tried. Thank you. She looks back at the ship. My brother needs help more than he admits. What do you mean? She tenses. I don't know if... She smiles a tight smile. I shouldn't have said anything. She pauses thinking, I want to ask you something. She takes a deep breath and gives you a direct look. What is she building up to? Are you looking for a crew? She looks away. Sorry to be direct, but you seem like... Well, if you're on Hexport, maybe you're with a crew. She stops herself. I mean, maybe your crew needs crew. Maybe you're looking? Why do you ask? Nia looks back at the ship, then at you. Look, I'll be honest. Being on a crew with my brother is nice, but he is suffocating me. She frowns at her own bluntness. I'm not a kid anymore, you know? But he still sees me like one. She shrugs. I want to show him I can handle myself. I need experience. I need to run some contracts. She gives you a determined look. What do you say? I'll think about it. I'm a good salvager, alright? You can use me. She smiles. I can spot things, find gaps, ways in. She folds her arms across her chest. I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well. She glances back at the ship. Did Just consider it, alright? Let me prove myself. Suddenly a shout comes from the ship, echoing down the passage. Bemi. He makes both of you nervous. Nia looks in his direction. I should go. She pushes off towards the docking bridge. I'll be waiting. Nia gives you one last glance as she departs, then disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage. Hey. The Benz. The warehouse. Chaotic Darkside bar. Let's check the bar, see if I can get any food. Here you can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy and stops you starving. Different food gives different amounts of energy. Play Star and Stoker. S&S is a spacer gambling game played with custom magnetic dice. Chits are stashed in symbol marked cans, and winning is ruthlessly luck-based. Plastic bag of flash-fried salt-flecked tubers. The Ben's fry brings spacers back to the scattered tables of the bar cycle after cycle. I mean, I need food. Okay, it gives, at least it gives 2 energy. I don't know if it can possibly give more. Broker Bob, have a great stream. Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for popping in. Hope you have a wonderful day, broker. You know what? Let's have some gambling. I like a little bit of gambling. Yeah. I got 5 cryo out of it. I can almost get another Ben's fry. Alright. We'll leave there. What's at the warehouse? Freight loading, endure. I should not be doing that whatsoever. What a foreign. Oh, yeah, no, we're not doing that. This was the wrong place for an operator. The warehouse at the Hexport dock supply the industrial operation of the station, meaning they need constant loading and restocking. Alright, we're gonna leave this place. That is not for me. Alright, let's check this, 'cause I'm curious. You can quickly visit and leave the rig with right-click. The rig is your ship and home in the Starward Belt. While the rig is docked at a hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks. Use dice to reduce stress. Galley. Use supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play. While the rig is in dock at a hub, your crew will also help to gather resources to contribute to the upkeep of the ship. You can choose which resources they should focus on in the crew task menu to the left. They have a random chance of acquiring it at the beginning of the following cycle. Okay. So we're on the run. It will progress towards an event each cycle. Its completion will trigger a significant event. You put some distance between you and Lane, but you are sure that he'll close the gap as soon as he is able. So we have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like a 16 clock cycle here. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it the odd jobs for now. Seraphin is good at endure and interface, I think those skills are. Okay. Alright, let's go to the Hexport Exchange. So either trade scrap or impress the brokers. The data brokers are the heart of the exchange. They show off their knowledge by discussing decryption. Maybe if you can talk the talk. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. You try to advise a broker on ways to break open Solheim data caches, and they seem vaguely interested. I mean, I will try it again. You try to advise a broker. Okay. You've used all of your dice for this cycle. You need to end the cycle at your ship, the rig, to re-roll them. Okay. Well, we at least have... We have access to food. Oh. Export Trade Hall. Spacer Trading Market. If enough cryo, they can fill your supply capacity in a single order. Trade hall has a healthy stock of supplies. Stack our own veg, water, usually some extras all packaged up for the crews coming through. So we can put 15 cryo, or we can fully fill for all of it. Buy fuel. Fuel depots like this can be found at most stations, selling the lifeblood of the belt's transport and trade. Okay. So this is pretty much where we need to go to get our fuel and supplies. But for now, we just need to rest. Rig bunks. Where do I track my stress? Am I stressed right now? Story of my life. Am I stressed right now? I could not tell you. Alright, let's just end the cycle. Ooh. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphim leans into the bunks as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes, and glide down the length of the rig, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphim is a silhouette silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphim inside, holding on one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the zero-G engine room. You know what these are? Are they fuel pipes? Seraphim shrugs. Close enough. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air. And before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. What happened? Must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of Darkside. He looks at the mess. We're lucky the reserve tank is empty. Otherwise, he shakes his head. Would have been bad. But, he pushes the pipe to the side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. He thumps the large lumpen housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. So we fix it? Seraphim sighs. That's the short of it. Seraphim whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been on a run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movements. Need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. Now you try to track them down. I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on Hexport, Factory Row is the place to find ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's the other end of the station. Alright, I'll take a look. Seraphim keeps working. Wait. Seraphim pauses, seemingly unsure. Something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt. He frowns. The message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. And we can't leave. Exactly, Seraphim sighs. Which is why we need these feed lines. I'm going to try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. He looks down. I'm no ship fitter. While I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? He smiles a weak smile. Get going. You leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphim's cleanup of efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines. That's the next step. Take a deep breath and head out. Discover a drive. Drives help you track and choose your objectives in Citizen Sleeper 2. The arrow button in the top left opens the drive menu. You can choose which drive to track. Once a drive is tracked, a yellow marker will be placed above any location that relates to that drive. They come in two types, major and minor. On completion, a major drive rewards 2 upgrade points, and a minor rewards 1. Keep an eye on the drive menu as you progress to see what new opportunities and objectives are available, and track those you want to pursue. We have a single drive. Might as well just track it. Alright. New location discovered. There's Factory Row's down there. Might as well just finish up what I'm doing here. Is like the first thing I would think to do. Give it a shot. Yeah, I might as well use the last one here. Just finish this up. Rules of the exchange. So we have the Hexport Canteen and the Hexport Trade Hall. Let's check the canteen first. Most trade halls have a canteen where they prepare their own dishes from the packed supplies they otherwise provide. It's much more expensive than the other one. So what can I do at the trade hall? Guys, I can't sell anything. It's a new way of making money. Alright, Factory Row, Ramshackle Fab Center. Let's give it a go. Search the row. The factory owners of the row speak mostly in terms of supply and demand, but going door to door might help you find the ship fitter you need. You spend as much time listening as you do talking, and seem to make some headway into negotiating a contract. Right. New location discovered. What do we got? Swift Scrap Soul. Data Diffusal Shift. All scrapyards have paid data diffusal work to offer, as old tech tends to be laced with protocols and countermeasures that need disabling. Sell raw scrap. Triple S is constantly processing scrap for the factories in the row. Pay good money for raw hull plates. I don't have any scrap right now. Scrapyard shift. I mean, it's my last dice. I'll see if I can do a data diffusal shift and just see if I can get some cryo out of it. Yeah, 7 cryo. That'll buy me a meal at least. Alright, back to the rig. End the cycle. Oh, jeez. Not a good day. Ooh. Actually, there's a whole lot of places I can just go to right now. Let's see. Can I use my push skill? How do I activate my push? I kind of want to use it. Alright, let's go back to Factory Row. And I'm going to see if I can just finish up this. A little trust with the factories, and the trick is not to waste it. The Hexport factories are picky about who they work with. Trust is a key currency here if you want to find a ship fitter. Factory Row howls as you glide through its cramped passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind. Whirring manufactories precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrappers hammer incessantly at bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there is energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself was built on the derelict fragments of a solar reflector. Even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirror is enough to power a city of machines. It is familiar to you, of course, in a strange, far-off way, because of Darkside. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it's hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors, 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild, flickering city growing on their back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial, but deep in Factory Row, you could almost be back in Darkside. And then you see them. Tubes, just like those Seraphim had waved in your face. The feed lines. You push over to the display window of the unit marked Carson's Supply, in block capital cuts from hull plate. There amongst an angled shelf of oversized ship components sit the feed lines, like some large biomechanical tangle of snakes. You slip inside with the sound of Factory Row is a little screened, and spot a large figure working at a bench. Hunched over, concentrating. Seems doesn't notice you enter. Hello? A sharp eye glints as the figure looks over his shoulder. Can I help you? His accent is heavy, but unknown to you. Those feed lines, not much. There's a sharp clink as Carson places his tools over the component against the magnetic plate on the wall. He turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hands on a cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Carson's thick-set features do not portray the results of his assessment. Custom built those, for a client that never corrected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. You have one of the old MEVs then. He sounds out the letters in a way you don't recognize as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have come along. I think so. Carson squints a little. Right. Look, Carson drifts over to where you are standing, his imposing height evident. For a fellow enthusiast like you, continues in a distinctive monotone. They say a few hundred cryo and clean chits. Shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. 400? 400, Carson says back, repeating your question without the emphasis. It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's just what they are worth. He screws up his mouth a little into something that might be a smile. However, I'm more of the bartering type myself anyway. Barter sounds good. Carson nods sagely. Here's a little favor I need a crew for, and, well, you look like you might be a good fit. He tucks the cloth away in a pocket and clasps his hands. I know of an old Solheim wreck out there. Very old, pre-collapse. He's tucked away in a dead zone, so no one has ever really cut it. He shrugs. Not only that, but Solheim derelicts have a habit of, triggering nasty security protocols when approached by an unfamiliar ship, so it's been left well alone. But a salvager like you, with an old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming. He smiles. I have a special interest, a need for that old tech. All those Solheim ships had a data core. And while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers or whatever they kept on the damn thing, I do care about the hardware. So if I was to find you back here with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well then, I could see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines. Carson pauses, sniffs at the air again. You just need the coordinates. Simple as that? Simple as that, he repeats in his monotone way. I'm giving this guy way too much emphasis, but it's very fun. So, I will keep doing it. So, you interested? He glanced back at his workbench. Because I'm a busy man. I'll do it. Alright then. He holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and as you automatically reach out, he grabs your forearm instead. Carson pulls you closer, squeezing your arm. Let's keep this one between us, alright? He half smiles, his face huge and close. It's our deal. Before you can respond, he thumbs the little drive into your palm. Those coordinates. Then he lets go of your arm with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air. Carson having returned to his workbench. You turn and glide out of Carson's supply with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement. The pit of your stomach and your cacophony of Factory Row in your ears. A contract. Seraphim might even be impressed. You look at the drive in your palm and smile. This could be a route out. You think of leaving this place behind in possession of an improved ship, too. Suddenly, a small but firm hand falls on your back. An equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! Junie? You turn in the path to see a young woman, her hair waving from the rapid glide. She clearly just came out to catch you. She steadies herself as you shoulder. Sorry. She smiles a quick and flat smile. Wanted to catch you. A data extractor. I'm Junie. Her dark eyes flick around nervously. You notice the portable terminal she carries, something data scrapers call a deck, and her backpack full of components and trailing wires. What's up? Carson, she starts, still catching her breath. He sent me to grab you. She smiles that flat smile again. Wants to come with you on that job. Her eyes shoot down to the drive in the palm of your hand. She smiles again. Why didn't he tell me? She glances back towards Carson's. I guess he forgot? He does that sometimes. He looks sheepishly at you. He just grabbed me after you two were done talking, so... She looks around the passage. Should I meet you at your ship and you can tell me when you're ready to go? I'm not sure. She looks nervous. Sure. I mean, you aren't sure when you're leaving? Yeah. Oh, that's okay. I can wait. She pauses. It's okay. Junie pushes off and waves. Looking forward to working with you, he calls back as an afterthought. Let her go. You watch her disappear down the passage. Things getting complicated already. At least you have a contract and a way to get the feed lines. Junie clearly works with data, based on the gear she was lugging around, which might make her useful when it comes to pulling out a data core. The question is, what does she get out of it? And why didn't Carson mention her sooner? Consider your options to head back towards the rig. I don't know about this, Sleeper. Seraphim looks nervously out of the rig's windows as you finish explaining Carson's deal, as well as Junie's offer of help. This job was easy. Carson would have done it himself already. That means there's a catch. He frowns at the stars, and there's definitely something going on with this Junie girl. He shakes his head. What choice do we have? What if... Seraphim narrows his eyes. We could get the crowd together to buy the feed lines. Is that even possible? I found a contract board at the exchange further in station. He gestures towards Hexport. You take on a job? That might get us some of the way towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take Carson's job, a bit of money to get ourselves prepared wouldn't be a bad idea. Fill up on fuel, supplies, be ready for whatever comes. Do we have time? Probably not. Without cryo for fuel and supplies, we aren't going anywhere. Seraphim sighs. Just take a look at the contract board. See what you think. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew, too. Seraphim shrugs. Many hands make light work and all that. Or we stop messing around. Take Carson's job right now and get it done before he can think twice. Seraphim yawns. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. By the way, I still got work to do on the drive. Seraphim nods a farewell, heading back to the engine room. Let me know what you decide. For a moment you pause, letting the haze of plans and ideas settle in your mind. Suddenly, you curl up, pain shooting along your spine. You grit your teeth, your muscles lock tight, your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift, as if some connection is broken. Almost impossible to describe. Like you're floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in the pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth, and then another shift comes and you're back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb and then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain, a disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to recede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or is this some new sensation you'll have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse. It might persevere for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they are yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now it feels like it's running out fast. You head for the airlock. You have work to do. Okay. Contracts are high-risk, high-reward jobs you and your crew can take on. Contracts require preparation and care to succeed. You'll need to gather enough fuel to travel to the contract, gather as many supplies you can afford to keep you and your crew going, look for opportunities to recruit crew, temporarily or permanently, help you on a contract. Consider which crew to take carefully. The different skills and stress resistances, and who you choose can affect the story. Once you are ready, you can select the contract from the map and then your crew to proceed. So we have to go there. We're gonna need 3 fuel to get there. I don't have any right now. Carson's offering you a straight barter for the feed lines you need if you bring him the data core from this derelict. Any raw scrap you pull out is yours. I mean, scrap would be good. We can sell scrap for more things. Alright. If you have 400 cryo, we just buy the feed lines. We don't have 400 cryo, so... contract board, export trade, Benz in the warehouse. Man, none of my skills are particularly good right now. Seraphin advised you to get a contract from the board to help pay for your escape. Finding one should be easy. Completing it is a challenge. Alright, what's on the board for today? Station management have located a Conway signal. They are concerned to see one so close and are looking for someone to disable its source. Disable signal source. Open contract with the Hexport Administration requires a fee to be paid to receive the coordinates of the job. Yeah, I'll take it. We still need to go and get fuel for it, too. Alright. I guess we're buying some fuel. Alright. Go like that.